Greetings folks, today I bring you my take on the Stealth Archer archetype. Made for veteran difficulty, and more importantly you don't need weird bones arrows to play it. Save that gold, use it to upgrade your build. I wish, sadly, that I had more creative intros than this, but guess it's gonna be a serious video. Nope, I lied! Introducing today's sponsor, the United States Deep Government. Do you like the sea? What about being followed by black vans in the middle of the night, just to make sure you keep your mouth shut? For only $60 million and 10 missing minutes of recording, you too can own a piece of paradise. It also comes with a little small temple and, more importantly, a very large dungeon with very thick walls. An amazing seaside property. Oh wait, it already got sold? Damn, they really go like hotcakes. Well, the new owner is probably too busy digging for that missing list. Oh wait, you didn't close the video yet? Amazing, you survived my humor filter. On to the build. But Pasta, you already made an archer's build and a dagger's build. What's the difference? Well, my archer is a full damage over time build. My critical dagger, well, it's melee. And this build is full archery and stealth. Yes, you can use daggers if you want, and I will explain in the perk section how you can do that. This build, however, more importantly, works when sneaking is not possible, because of course, there is no sneaking behind Galahad the Pure's back. But Pasta, please, you made too many builds. Well, if I were to choose for you, I would say like and subscribe for more gaming content, whatever that may be. Let's look at our gear. First of all, the most important part, which is gonna be the weapon, our bow. For this build, I will give you some options. All of them are good. Each comes with different performances in different situations. So, in the footage that you've seen, all the gameplay was in veteran with titanium sharpened arrow. If you want to do even more damage than me, then just use weird bone arrows. I don't use those because they cost 250 gold each, so that's like money you could put in upgrades, but still, they will come with a fat 30 damage instead of 15, which is a big difference. Nightshade has two small problems. First of all, the base damage is very low, and second of all, in boss fights we are not gonna be sneaking, so all that effect is gonna be to your detriment. However, on the plus side, we are able to stagger enemies thanks to one of the perks in the two-handed tree. I don't know if this is a bug or it's intended, but we can stagger enemies. So just because a boss sees us doesn't mean that we're dead. When you have your build up and running, mobs will be stunned most of the time. If you are using Nightshade bow, then you want to use two Nightshade charcoal. Same type of relic, but small difference. You cannot use the exact same relic, but you can combine the plus 10 and the plus 20 together. In alternative, just use physical damage relics, or I do not suggest using status effect for this build. It's up to you, really. Other option, Assassin. Assassin has the advantage of higher base damage, and blind will pop frequently, so it's a good choice. The only issue is that we do not really benefit that much from blind because we already stagger, so that's kinda wasted. Draven is a good leveling bow, very good damage, a lot of critical strike. The problem, however, is that this build doesn't have critical strike issues at all. In fact, you will have most likely too much critical strike thanks to our upgrades. But still, Draven is really good. It's the second highest flat damage bow. The highest damage bow, it's the huge bow. There is a small problem here, one high strength requirement, which you can get around, it's not a problem. 1 point of dexterity is only 1% range damage, and this is a perception based build, however, so the more points we waste, that's a lot of critical damage and sneak damage that we lose. Since in that case you're not using Nightshade to multiply, then sneak damage is not as relevant. However, huge bow is good, I tested it, a lot of damage. Now, for our second set, and this is an option if you want to use daggers for sneaking. I personally do not like them. If you want a full dagger build that doesn't require backstab, I have it in my channel. Same for archers, I have a different version that is not a sneak based build. Check the playlist below. Option would be either the wolf or the quiet death. It's up to you what to decide. Really, I didn't use backstab on this build, however. So, rest of the gear. Most important part, all the gear I'm suggesting can be changed, switched, doesn't matter. As long as you're building the right stats, you can use what you want. Let's start with the easy part, the rings. Strong arrow, you get this from Act 2. And then the archer's ring from the tutorial. In case you cannot get the archer's ring because you missed out or any reason, then you can use a blood ring. And maybe if you want to use poison arrows and try to use poison, that's up to you. As patch 1.7a, I am having problem applying poison on certain builds, so this is why I'm not suggesting this, however. Then Marksman Treasure, it's an option also from Act 2. I do not advise this, however, because we already have too much crit. And then for Amulet, we have two options. One is my advised one, because we will be most likely full health all the time, so it doesn't make sense to use another amulet. Would be the Novice of the Ogre Hunter, but it only works when you're full life, but thanks to our life leech, we can heal super fast. The other option will be an amulet from Act 2, which will give you 50% sneak damage, as we are converting sneak damage into a multiplier. That is not too bad, however, I would still suggest Novice Ogre Hunter, especially because this will be active even when you're not in stealth, so in boss fights, because we need to combine the two. For our back item, Burrower's Cape is my best in slot. Other option will be Volker, if you are not upgrading, if you are having issues with, because this build is squishy anyway, so the increased damage doesn't matter, you will get one-shotted in Veteran on this build. So that will be a lot of critical chance. However, Duelist Knight Cape, on option, but it's not really that ideal. For chest, two options here. If you're using Nightshade Bow, then use Crow. If you're not using that one, use Corpsebinder, because that's a lot of ranged damage. I use it both. Corpsebinder is an excellent leveling item, so you will use that anyway. For gloves, Corpsebinder Gauntlets. Very simple here. It's a no-brainer. With upgrades, you will get a lot of stats. And the bow draw speed is amazing. For pants, Dual Night Trousers. This will require you to put a little more points in endurance, which of course is a DPS loss, however it gives us critical damage. If you do not want to put that many points in endurance because you want to go like full glass cannon, there is also an option, however this will only work for optimizing sneak damage, and that will be getting assassin, grading those, and you will get some extra sneak damage, not too much. However, I really like the Dual Night Trousers. For boots, only one suggestion here, even if you change bow. Bloodsoaked boots, Act 1 recipe, easy to craft. If you unfortunately decided to side with Galahad and you do not have access anymore to the Bloodsoaked boots, then Crow or Assassin. Assassin is very similar to Bloodsoaked anyway, so up to you. For our helm, again, two options, Crow or Corpsebinder Helm. You will use this during leveling anyway. Both are good, however I like Crow the most. Quick recap, 2 pieces of Crow, this is the only set. Then Borrowers is crafted from Act 2. I will show all locational items in the later part of the video, don't worry. Crafted, dropped from second Duelist in Act 2, crafted, tutorial, Act 2 quest, Act 2 mini boss. Nightshade bow, you can get these from a vendor in Act 2 in the main city. Huge bow, you can get this one in Act 3. Draven in Act 2. Assassin in Act 3. Also in the description there is gonna be a link to Map Genie with the location of every item. Just go in the right act that you know that the item is from, and then you can get more info, or just watch the rest of the video, whatever is more convenient to you. Okay, let's look at our stats as usual. Depending on the gear you choose to use, this requirement will change, of course. This is the base stuff that you need in Act 3 to have everything equipped. Afterward, the stats attribution is gonna be the following. I will highly suggest for you to put every spare points that you have, that you don't need for gear, right in perception. We want to stack perception as much as possible, because perception not only gives you 5 critical damage, but also 8% sneak damage. I do not advise going strength or dexterity stacking on this build, absolutely not. This build doesn't require level 72 to work It will be up and running ideally toward the mid Act 1. And then, depending if you want to fully play stealth, you can do stealth. Otherwise, you can also go full dot with Sanguine Sting, following my other builds until you have everything that you need. Okay, let's look at our perks. Of course, our main 3 is gonna be Dexterity. 2 points in Strong Arm of the Bowmaster, 3 points in Marksman for damage. Afterward, we want to Proper Draw Technique, Eagle Eye, and immediately a Natural Focus. We will come back here later. We jump directly in Perception, 1 point in Silent Hunter. At the start, you cannot get too close to enemies anyway. They will most likely spot you if they're just looking at you. Max Assassin Doctrine, points in Wolves Among Ship, Ambusher Impact. And then if you want, you can take Cheat Death. This should not be... If you're using Bleed Arrows or Blood Ring, 3 points in Affliction, you can do this earlier because 30% of damage is very useful. Then we go in Strength. Wait, why Strength? Is it for the dagger? No. This has been confirmed by multiple people that I asked, and I confirmed this as well, or even on a fresh install, as 1.7a patch. Mighty Blows works with the bow. So these allow us fully drain the stamina of opponents, meaning that we can stagger them. Nothing in Endurance. We finally go in Perception, our key tree. Only 1 point in Extra Lucky. Your crit must come from your gear. 1 point in Critical Cascade, in case your crit is low. But wait to go for the eyes. Instead, go in Respite. Critical Aegis will give you a little more survival. If you are playing on Veteran and you're like, well, I die anyway, I don't care, then only 1 point. However, you want Bloodthirst, because sometimes we take damage, it's annoying to use food. Bloodthirst will allow to have that Amulet of the Novice Ogre Hunter always up. Then go for the eyes maxed. And then if you want, you can go Deep Wounds if you're not using Bleed Arrows. If you're using in Act 3 the super expensive Weird Bone Arrows instead of selling those, then yes. Otherwise, we go immediately back in Dexterity, because by now you're using Titanium Arrows. We don't want to waste arrows, so Lucky Shot is mandatory. Okay, now, Strong Back for Draw Bow immediately. So, Deadly Aim and nothing else here. Now, we have 30 spare points. The core of the build works. Now it's up to you. If you want to have a stealth melee option, you want to go in Perception. Only 1 point in Dagger for Proficiency, not more, because we already want to have 100% crit by default. We don't care about Serpent Swiftness that much. Predator Fangs. Then you want to go in Close the Predator, 2 points for the Stagger, and then max the Deadly Luck, and we still have some leftover points. So, what you can do is go in Agile Fighter, get the usual stuff that you need to make the build work. In this case, you would go for Symmetrical, and you will have still 9 points left. This is the option if you go melee. In that case, just invest in Godly Physique for when you're not backstabbing, but that is mainly up to you. However, if you have spare points, you're using Bleed Arrows, you can also go Red Death as usual. This will be the Red Death 3, it's also cheap. However, you want to have everything that I showed you in a single build, then you need to be higher level than me. However, Red Death is not necessary. For the footage that I show you, there was no Red Death in this build. I played with the dagger combination. Alright, perfect. What is the best start possible for this build? Forget everything else. Just ignore everything. Just come here. Get the food recipe because, yeah, sure. Then get the tag for the keeper. We're not gonna bother with the shrines or anything else. This is mainly to go quickly because otherwise this video is gonna be 30 minutes just for the best start. So, as you are an archer, there are a couple of items that you should get. Actually 3, if you want to be fair. So, after the stupid annoying mobs stopped chasing us, we can go down this road. Very important item. This is gonna be our back item for Act 1 and 2, unless you go Volker. Since we are out of the tutorial, we have a short buff that reduces our damage taken, but it will not last forever, so...
We may be in for a fight!
Then you get into the cave.
You'll regret that!
This is gonna be a easy fight. Like, even in veteran, this guy is a joke. Loot the key. Plus some extra thing you can sell for gold. And it is the chest you need to force open. It's gonna be a hard lock, so in case you want to save scam, you cannot open this. But should not really be a problem. It is the Sanguine Sting. This is gonna be our main bow for Act 1. It's the best one in my opinion, it's one of the best bow in the game. It's a little annoying, just keep yourself a stack of food and the 5 HP cost is not that big of a deal. However, remember, you cannot combine these with the necklace of the Novice Ogre Hunter, because we will not be full life all the time. Okay, next important things to know. The blacksmith in the keep and this guy over here will sell you some recipes. Both are important. From this guy here, you can buy the infused arrows, which is good. And also you can convert bear into leather. Don't waste money buying arrows. Making arrows is extremely easy. You just need a wood axe. Mobs will drop them. And there are also around the keeps. Just loot around, go steal everything. And then you can just cut wood. One is here and the other one is here in the keep. Like, it's not really that hard to find. Map Genie also has the location of everything. Okay, from here, this is the village downside. You want to be here. Sprint, jump here, move here. And here you'll drop the hunting veil and, well, some arrows. And so, the hunting veil is not an item you should cherish that much, okay? Ideally, as I said earlier, you want to make yourself the Corpsebinder set, which I will show in the item section. However, since we are already down here, if you are already familiar with my builds, you already know everything, but I will still show this for new people. Then you want to come here. Don't get killed by that guy. And here the bow is okay, but more importantly, the gloves are gonna be our replacement until we can craft our main set. Alright, several important things to conclude our best start, and I will go through it very quickly. On this build, there is one mandatory shrine. You usually skip this on other builds, but for us, we need it. It's the Shrine of the Wolves. Very easy to get. Kill wolves, get 90% sneak damage. You must not skip this one, because don't forget, we stack sneak damage on this build. Other one you must not skip. It's the Shrine of the Bear, 5% physical damage. On this build, we stack Perception. This item you need to get. It's 1 free point of perception. Okay, I will quickly showcase the location of the Corpsebinder set. You need to be here, then you jump here, and you want to follow the entire thing until you're there where my marker is pointing. Here, Necromancer Safeguard, which is the recipe, and Blood Ring. To craft these items, you only need two things. One is leather. Leather is easy to get. You find animals everywhere. You have deers, you have wolves, you have bears. Bones are super easy to find. You come here, you kill all the skeletons outside, or you come down here. I like to farm the drowned areas here and down here. And then you can get a lot of bones and tongue. You can make chill arrows if you want. They still have value. If you want to even vendor them, that's up to you. Once you craft, try to use as much material as possible until you are guaranteed to have a +2. How do you get the Bloodsoaked set? Very simple. Before you take a radical decision that may change your life in Act 1, because you are simping for a certain very pure individual. You can talk to Ygue. And then here you can buy the Bloodsoaked recipe. Also, there is gonna be a great bow, which is like, okay. But more importantly, this guy, I already bought this one. Sorry. There is gonna be a crushed pilgrim bone, which is free attribute. There are several items like that that are in Act 2. There is one in Act 3. On Map Genie, you can find them all located. Don't worry about that. Also in Act 2, you can buy from Muko both the Burrower set, so you can craft yourself the cloak. You can do this very early if you have the money. And then, if you want, this NPC will also sell you a huge bow. Keep that in mind. Okay, how do I get the assassin bow, the crow set? The Morrigan questline needs to be done, but more importantly, your decision will start now. You need to come here, and there is an NPC in a cage named Vidar. Get the key. Offer to meet him. Don't let him go. The first quest is called Spread Your Wings. You follow the quest, but more importantly, once you come with a quest, in this quest line, you will face several decisions. Two important ones is that you want to side with the woman, and that's how you get your crow set and the assassin bow. They will all come from there until you finish all the Children of Morrigan quest line. The first item that you can get for this build is directly in the tutorial. After you deal with the story part and before leaving the island you want to come out, turn to the right, go across the island, then jump in the water, and then you want to swim until you see a broken ship, and then you can loot an archer's ring. If you want to go an extra step further and you want to get the physical damage amulet, that one is in the broken ship on Little of the Shores, but that one is not necessary for this build anyway. Okay, let's now look on how we get our 25% increased ranged damage ring. The quest will start here. You can do this at start of Act 2. Like all the rest of the stuff, it's not hard to do.
Oh.
Quest name is Lustful Sacraments. You will also need a shovel to do this, so always bring one with you. That's the mob we need to kill. It's gonna be a little tanky, but it's not really a problem. And then we are here. The quest will mark you where the location is, so you don't have to worry. And then you just dig it out. Here is your strong arrow ring. To get the amulet of the novice hunter is quite easy, really, where the ogre fortress is. The alternative amulet to the novice ogre hunter comes from here. This is the one that will give you 50% sneak damage.
Are they gone?
The NPC is in the barrel and the quest is called Stink and Burn, which will task you to go pretty much here. There is gonna be a small camp in this location over here, and then you will be given two choices. One, you can side with the witch. She will give you a lightning wand. Or if you kill the witch, you will get the amulet. You will have to go back to the guy in the barrel and tell him, you're free now. Alright. Getting the Nightshade bow is really not difficult. You just need to go in Act 2, in the first city as soon as you arrive.
Oh, hello.
And you can buy it from Osmond. Here you can also buy the titanium arrows and the meteorite arrows.
I am.
At least all the basic ones. Okay, let's talk about daggers as well. If you're planning to dual use Quiet Death, the location 2 are two. One is if you go through one of the quest lines, the quest line will start here and it will send you here. I will not say anymore. And then it's pretty much hidden in one tunnel. The other Quiet Death, however, well, guess what? It's tied to the Morrigan questline. You can dual wield both. If you do not want to use Quiet Death, then Wolf's Fangs are literally a bounty item that you get in Act 1. However, I will state this. Try to kill her before you progress too much in the story quest, because I don't want to go in spoiler, but there is a chance that, I don't know if this is intended or a bug, but a couple of patches ago I stumbled in a situation where I couldn't kill her anymore because someone decided to visit her before me. Let's go with that. Let's talk about relics. First of all, just to not have any confusion, the relics that I suggested for sneak damage are both called Nightshade Carcoal. The plus 10 are super easy to find. You have several that you can get in Act 1. In Act 3, unfortunately, not before, there is gonna be a quest once you have access to the village. You do this quest from this NPC and then you receive the plus 20. Okay, next step is gonna be our pants. However, we cannot use this yet. So you can do this before finishing Act 2. If you want these pants, you will have to kill this duelist. Now, luckily, don't just go there and talk to him. It's a waste of time. Instead, make use of your stealth technique and you can position yourself with a nice sneak damage bonus. As you see, this guy is very hard if you're melee, unless you can stagger him, but even if you don't stagger him, it's very easy to kite, like, just dodge your stuff and here are the trousers that you want. Unfortunately, due to the requirement, you cannot use this yet. And that's everything, folks. If you got this far, thank you for watching and sitting through nearly 30 minutes of this. I swear to God, I feel that my guides are getting longer and longer. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing for more content. I cannot promise about the quality of the content, but I will try my hardest. If you have doubts or you have questions or anything, let me know in the comments below and I will try my best to answer you. Have fun playing Tainted Grail and I will see you in the next one.